Hey guys, welcome to The Tea with Nicque. I decided to try and name this something clever because why not, right? So I recently moved some of my followership and my content over to Instagram and YouTube for many reasons, but also to diversify. And I was asking a lot of you the kind of things that you wanted to see on my channel, to see on Instagram. I've been doing a lot of crowdsourcing, and a lot of you guys really wanted to get to know me as a person, which is really weird because I am not used to people wanting to know all these things about me. But you know what? I guess God is good, whatever. The tea I'm drinking today is a green tea. My favorite green tea ever is jasmine tea. That is not the one I have right now, but whatever. So yeah, so that's my tea today. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself and about my life, and I'll definitely do a lot more of these later on, and you'll see my dog in the background sometimes. But yeah, let me tell you guys about me, about Nicque. So I was born in Houston. I'm born in Houston, Texas. Born and raised. Super proud to be from Houston, as most Estonians are. Yeah, I am the oldest sibling. I have a younger brother named Alex, and he's awesome, and I love him very, very much. Actually, my career as an entertainer began really, really soon. I was actually a child model and actor when I was way little, 2-3 years old. I just reconnected with my old agent from back in 1994, whatever. We found each other on social media, on Facebook, and she's really great. She's a great mentor to me now still. I found out that actually she was also the manager or the agent for Hillary and Haley Duff, and I actually met them when I was really, really little, and I faintly remember it. I faintly remember they were playing with me and stuff, and we were there for an acting lesson at our agent's place, and of course I was so young, I didn't know what was going on, but Miss Tracy told me that a few years ago, and I was like, oh my fucking god, that is amazing. And I also I auditioned for Little Rascals movie and everything. I did modeling for Neiman Marcus and Foley's and Dillard's. It was really, really cool. But my parents pulled me out because they really wanted me to focus on school and stuff, and I'm kind of glad they did. My mom actually homeschooled both me and my brother for a while. She's wonderful. She pretty much gave up her career to stay home and homeschool me and my brother. My brother is autistic, and I tested to be gifted and talented with an IQ of 140, and they basically said that it would be a good idea to homeschool both of us so that I wouldn't fall behind, and so that my brother could get the attention that he needed, because autism it's very unique for every person, and you just got to figure out what their niche is, how to best teach them. And my mom took the time to do that for 13 years, and I love her for it, and I owe a lot to her. For that time, I was 3 grades ahead of my normal grade. When I was 6 years old, I was in 4th grade, and I owe that completely to her. We grew up on a lot of Disney. We grew up on a tradition of Disney. Every Saturday, Sunday night, we would get the mattress out in the living room, and we would watch Disney movies, and that just became my obsession. I think that's really what had me really wanting to sing, because I just loved all the Disney princess movies, and I loved singing like them, and I loved singing all the songs, and so I think that's kind of where it started. At some point my favorite was Ariel. but then it became like Mulan and Jasmine and pretty much the brown skinned princesses that looked like me. The very few that we had. But Disney was a very, very big part of my life. Lion King, Aladdin, Mulan, those are some of my favorites. I grew up playing music. My mom taught me piano. I played clarinet. Classically, I'm a classical clarinet player since the age of 7. And I also do jazz. I played in a jazz ensemble when I was younger as well. We played all around the city of Houston. Really cool places too. I think we played like, not Wimbledon, but something. We played a lot of really cool gigs. So yeah, music was always a really big part of my life. Superheroes, comic books, those were all such a big part of our lives, especially because at a certain point in life we kind of lost everything, and we became very, very poor. And it was kind of a hopeless situation. Like when you're younger, you don't realize if you're like depressed or anxious, but that was definitely a really rough time for me and Alex and my mom, and honestly my dad put us through some bullshit, and that bullshit lasted longer than it should have. And so superhero culture was really, really big for us. I remember going to Barnes and Noble and like just parking out in the manga comic book section and, you know, reading Marvel comic books. Like that's how I got to read them. You know, and I loved Spider-Man, like Iron Man, like those were my favorites. That's my brother's favorite. My brother's favorite superhero is Spider-Man. And we used to play like Spider-Man and Green Goblin in the living room. Of course I wanted to be Spider-Man, but like I'm the older sister, and you know, you gotta make sacrifices when you're the older sister, so I was Green Goblin, you know. But yeah, it really meant a lot. It really meant a lot to us, and it's really funny that it's become so much a part of my platform now, because just seeing superheroes and their stories and a lot of the ways that Stan Lee wrote some of these characters, it just really gave me hope that, you know, even though things are bad, like you can be a hero and you can be like really, really extraordinary, really, really amazing. And so I think I really latched on to that. Like the Spider-Man movies, like that was my shit. I was in love with Tobey Maguire back then. Oh my gosh, like it was crazy. But yeah, what else? Sports is a big part of me growing up. I grew up, I skateboarded, I played tennis, I played basketball, ended up playing basketball in high school. I grew up in church. I grew up in like really conservative Southern church. And I was pretty deep into it. Like, I'm a very competitive person, and so I did like, you know, the Bible camps and stuff. For those of you who know the denomination Seventh-day Adventist, that's the denomination I was a part of. So I was part of Pathfinders, which was like Adventist version of Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and I was like super serious about it. We did like Bible trivia competitions, and I was the captain, and I took us to fucking like nationals or some shit, like, and I think when we won second place, and I was pissed the fuck off because I think we were cheated. We deserved number one, but whatever. But that's the kind, like, that's how I grew up, and that's also where I learned to sing. I sang in the church choir. Oh my god, like every year when there was a Christmas play, I played like Virgin Mary, and I had to sing Breath of Heaven or Mary Did You Know or something like that. But that's where most of my singing like stuff came from. And I love to sing. I think my dad spent quite a bit of time like kind of trying to make me like a star, like, you know, those over pushy dads or whatever, and try to get me to be a recording artist and everything, and like be the next Disney whatever, and things kind of fell apart when my parents started getting divorced, and it was a really, really ugly divorce. And so a lot of that fell to the side. I started to fall out of love with music anyway because I was forced to do it. Just like I fell out of love with basketball because just all of the pressure and just like the stress that he put on me for it, it made me fall completely out of love with it. But after that, I ended up going to public school and I ended up finding things that I loved all over again. I found basketball, which I ended up not doing for very long. I was like 99 pounds. There was no way I was gonna do college ball with my frame at all. And I wasn't the greatest on the team either, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time there. What else did I do? I did cross country. I lettered in cross country actually. I was a student ambassador for the Houston Hispanic Forum. I did theater. I was Sandy in Grease. That was really, really awesome. That was where my love of musical theater started. So yeah, always holds a special place in my heart. I did student government. I was an AP scholar. I got a lot of scholarships. I just like really did the most because I was such an overachiever, both for good reasons and for bad, because I kind of felt like I had to earn my love from certain parents and like earn my worth, and like being a black woman, like it's complicated. That's another video for another time. But I met my husband actually in AP US History, Mr. Clarity's class. Shout out to Mr. Clarity, best teacher. He started cracking jokes and stuff, and I thought he was really cute, and like apparently he thought I was really cute, and he started trying to like sit next to me more and more in class. And eventually I actually had to pick a different 7th period. And they were like, you can pick tennis or you can pick J-Rotzy. And I knew that Justin was a J-Rotzy. And so I was like, maybe I'll just move to the same class as this boy that I think I like, you know? Which is completely out of character for me. Like, I've only dated like one other person besides Justin. Like, I was like, at this point, I was like, I don't have time for boys. Boys are dumb and stupid, and I need to focus on getting a scholarship to school because there is no college fund and we are poor as fuck. So, but I did it anyway, and surprise, surprise, we started dating. I joined J-Rotzy, kind of got that affinity like for military culture and everything, and I turned out to be like really, really good at it. And so that kind of ended up, that led to me like pursuing going to a military academy. It had always been in the back of my mind to go to a military academy. It was half that, and then also half like my dad pushing me to literally do the fucking most and be everything, and you know, be a fighter pilot and all that. And when you're so young, sometimes I guess you don't really know, you know, the difference between what it is that you want and what it is that your parents want or expect of you. And I definitely think I was in that position. But I got a lot of offers. I got a lot of offers from a lot of schools. I got offers from like Yale, I think Harvard. Like, I did pretty well for myself as far as grades. And Texas A&M University offered me a full ride, and then also the Air Force Academy offered me a full ride. And I decided to go with the Air Force Academy because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I thought it sounded really badass, and I like doing badass things, and I like seeing myself as badass. So I was like, I'm gonna go to the Air Force Academy. Yeah, so I did. And it is hard, which is another video for another time, but there was a lot. You know, I went through combat survival training where they literally like dropped us on the side of a mountain in the Rocky Mountains for like 7 days and was like, okay, we'll survive. And like you had to eat like bugs and like weird plants and shit for like a week. By the way, I was still like 99 pounds at this point, so like whatever. And then of course like boot camp and basic training. I also did theater there too. We have a theater club there called Blue Bards, and once I found that place, I lived there for like ever, for the entire 4 years. I was either acting, directing, running lights. I was stage manager. Like I did everything in there. I lived in that theater, and I met some of my best friends in that theater club, and we still talk a lot. I love them dearly. They are like brothers to me. I always get really emotional when I do get to see them. I met my very best friend there, Lindsay. My very, very, very best friend. We've been best friends since boot camp, and so a lot of pretty good things came out of that. I really wanted to be a fighter pilot, and then and I actually had a spot, but then at the very last minute, the academy told me that I was too short. My sitting height was too short to be a pilot, and I'm like, oh, you really could have fucking told me that a long fucking time ago, because that's my entire goal of being here. Like, a lot of people go there to be a pilot. What the fuck? And so I had to pick another career field, like, on a whim. And then they told me that I was going to Grand Forks, North Dakota. Nobody in the Air Force wants to ever get stationed in North Dakota. No disrespect to those of you North Dakota natives, but North Dakota, cold as fuck, ain't nothing there. Like, that is like the worst. Like, that's just where you don't want to go. I was so mad. I remember going to the cadet bar, ordering 2 bottles of Moscato, and chugging 1 whole bottle in 30 seconds. That is how pissed and done I was. I was so done. But whatever. Moved there. I graduated. I graduated with a degree in political science, with a minor in Spanish. Me and Justin had kept on dating through that time, long distance. So we got married 2 weeks after I graduated, in Houston, Texas. It was really, really cool, really great wedding. And then later on that summer, we moved to North Dakota. And incidentally, I placed in a karaoke contest randomly on base, and my commander put me up for this program called Tops in Blue, which is kind of like a USO thing, but it's run by the Air Force, and it's like a traveling show where you, like, basically service members, like, we sing and we dance. You have a 10-piece band. We have an entire tech crew, and we entertain people around the world. We had like 80 shows or something in like 16 countries. I was gone for like 10 months. Again, a video for another time, because I can get into so much about it, because there's just so much to talk about regarding that. But I did that for 10 months. I came back. Unfortunately, I had a very, very bad harassment case for about a year and a half, which again is a video for another time, very soon actually. And because of that experience, that's how I got PTSD, which kind of weighs on me a lot. A lot of veterans that get PTSD from non-combat stuff tend to feel really guilty, because we never got to like go overseas, and we never really got to like fight like we earned it, which is really flawed thinking, obviously, because there's different kinds of trauma, but it's still something that I think a lot of veterans suffer from, and even just other civilians, just people that have PTSD, might feel like that, like they're not. And yeah, like a lot of veterans feel like they didn't earn their PTSD because they didn't fight in a war, which is really fucked up, because PTSD is not something that you should earn. It's an injury. It's something that should never happen to anybody. So that's a very flawed way of thinking. But another video for another time. But despite that, we made the best of it. We definitely made the best of our time in North Dakota. My husband bought Jack, my German Shepherd, who you've seen running around in the background as my emotional support animal. He's my very first dog ever, and I love him so much. I've only ever had cats, and I still have a cat. Her name is Chocolate Chip, and she's really cuddly. But yeah, so we got to do a lot of things in North Dakota, despite being in North Dakota. Like, we kept on doing theater. We worked for the Empire Theater Company and the Fire Hall Theater Company in Grand Forks. We danced for the North Dakota Ballet Company. We also danced for a hip-hop crew called Elite elite dance crew run by Eller Bonifacio, a really great friend of ours, really great dude, fantastic dancer, fantastic father, fantastic just social media presence also, and a graphic designer. So yeah, shout out to him. Love you, Kuya. Really, really miss you. Miss you. But yeah, and also my husband graduated from the University of North Dakota there with his degree in English. So we got a lot done still in North Dakota regardless. And so it was time for me to decide whether it was time to leave the Air Force or not, because I had a 5-year commitment. And I could have extended. And a lot of people choose to stay for, 7, 10, 20 years to retire. For me, especially because of all the mental health stuff going on, I was really tired and out of love with the military as a whole. And just, it really wasn't what it didn't fit the plan for my life that I originally had when I joined. And I also, realized that half of it really wasn't even really my dream to be in the Air Force, to be an Air Force officer. It was probably my dad pushing me to be what he wanted me to be and to have something to brag about. And so I realized that, and we talked, me and my husband talked about it, and we talked about the importance of actually making some choices for ourselves and not just going back home to Houston. And so we decided to move to New York City and, and give our dreams an honest try. Acting, singing, writing, especially for Justin. We decided to do that. And so we moved to New York after my 5-year commitment. Regret nothing. It's really, really different. I won't live here forever, that's for sure. I'm still very much a Texas girl, but I am here. And hit the ground running. Did some off-Broadway stuff when I first got here. A little show called Rebirth of Rabbit's Foot. But it's no longer running in its residency right now. But it was it was a good opportunity for me to, freshen up my acting chops a little bit and just be able to act in the New York circle. And like I said, good practice. And so, it served its purpose, and I'm grateful for that. I'm signed to a label, VEM Entertainment. My producer Verna is the absolute best. I love her so much. And we have some original music coming out, and I really, really can't wait for that to happen. Yeah, I really, really, really cannot wait. And then the TikTok thing, I had a TikTok since last summer, and I didn't really do anything with it. I just had it. I didn't intend to do anything with it. And then I started dicking around with it in December and January. And then, things started taking off. I started doing My Hero Academia. Oh my God, Jack, stop. I started doing My Hero Academia videos. And, people started really liking it, and I just kept on doing them, and I just went with what worked. And then here we are, almost 400,000 followers on TikTok later, almost 15,000 followers on Instagram, and over 6,000 followers on YouTube. Wow, guys, completely amazing. As most of you know, a lot of my content is fandom comedy. It's based on, all the things I love. About anime, My Hero Academia, Marvel, sometimes DC. But I told you guys I'm a Marvel head. I will try to do some DC, but I am so partial. I'm partial to Marvel. Avatar, all that other stuff. It's been really, really great to be able to do that. Also, in the middle of my comedy skits, I also make a point to do a lot of videos about that are just uplifting and about realistic positivity and mental health. I say realistic positivity because that's something that I feel like I picked up, especially since I was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety and depression and panic disorder. And that's, like I said, another video to get into. But I always make sure to throw that in there because I have been in really hopeless situations, very, very hopeless situations in which I wish that I wouldn't wake up in the morning. And I don't want anyone to ever feel like that, like ever again, which is of course impossible, but if I can do anything to help, I really want to do that, and I'm really happy to have that platform. I also am using it, especially lately, to speak out about Black issues, issues in the Hispanic community. I want to branch out back to the Native American community because I am of Native descent. I didn't really grow up too much in the culture. There are little itty-bitty pieces that were passed down to me from my mother because my tribe, like many tribes in North America, Central America, and South America, are dying and being erased. And so I try and hang on to as much of that culture as I possibly can. But I would like to start doing more for that in, like I said, the Black community, the Hispanic community, and I'm doing a lot of series on that too. So those are kind of my big things. Making people laugh, addressing social issues, and talking about mental health, and probably a way that other people generally don't talk about mental health, and motivation in a way that I think a lot of motivational speakers don't generally talk about motivation. But yeah, that's me. I just like helping people find happiness, find laughter, and find peace. So that's me. That's a whole bunch about me, and we'll have so many more videos coming about this. I'm always listening to see what you guys want me to do, besides just doing the skits on TikTok. Even if TikTok goes away, I will still continue to do skits on YouTube and Instagram. So like I always say, please follow me on there too. Follow me on Twitter as well, because that's where I like to talk shit a lot. And so if you want to join me, do follow me on Twitter as well. But that's me, guys. And so I just want to say I'm really, really grateful to have this platform. I'm grateful for every single one of you. Every single one of you have given me so much support, so much love. I'm always overwhelmed by the fan art, messages I get from you guys. It's all very new to me, but I am very, very much aware that I would not be where I am if it wasn't for you. So thank you so very much. So please keep watching my stuff. Please like this video and subscribe. There will be so much more stuff coming. I'm always crowdsourcing to see what else you guys want, usually on Instagram. So if you would like to join that crowdsourcing process, do follow me on Instagram at @NicqueMarina. So that's it. That's the very first episode of The Tea with Nicque, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye guys, I love you. Bye.